All right, let's look at some position battles here for LSU. And our guy Hunt Palmer on LouisianaSports.net laid out 3 to watch. It is the guard position, the safety position, and also backup quarterback. Now, backup quarterback, obviously you've got someone you brought in from Mississippi State who started games in the SEC. You also have Colin Hurley, who was a big-time recruit out of high school, very young when he got here. And, he's going to continue to develop. What was he, 16 when he got here?
Yeah, so he had reclassified. He skipped the senior year. He's just now 18, I believe.
What?
Yeah,
was that 16? Let's see. 19. I think I turned 16 in May of my freshman year at Evangel.
When did he get to LSU?
What do you mean? How many years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Last year was his first year.
Last year was first year.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing him, and I remember them telling me his age, and I was like, that guy?
Yeah.
A guy that looks like he's 25? Looks the part.
He looks even bigger this year.
And it's usually when you're when you hit a growth spurt and you're that age, you might be tall, you might have definition in your arms, but you're skinny leg, you just hadn't filled out. You don't look like a full grown man. That guy did. I was like, good Lord.
Yeah. So
I wish I had that when I was coming out of high school.
So it does feel like, though, it is a legit backup quarterback battle.
Mm-hmm.
And I would assume Michael Van Buren has a leg up because of what he did. You can't help yourself, Seinfeld. I know you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
But I do think having that many starts under your belt in the SEC, obviously Colin Hurley is going to have to do something that goes above and beyond what Michael Van Buren's doing.
I would 100% say that Van Buren would have the upper hand in a backup quarterback position, just for the sheer fact of the coaches don't want to have to think or worry about what they're going to get with a backup quarterback.
Yeah, Colin missed the entire spring too.
Right. So. And you want your backup quarterback to be someone that has experience, that they've seen you do something in action, because they just don't want to have to worry about what is going to happen. If something, let's just say doomsday happened, at that point, you can also have a kind of a little pseudo competition. You can change your mind. For a guy that's going to step into a game, let's just talk about what if Garrett Nussmeier dislocates a pinky or something, and he's got to be out for a series. Let's just play that. You just want somebody that you can trust, that has been in the SEC, that can just go in there and manage a series or manage a drive, not turn the ball over. You know what you're going to get, right? Now, if a doomsday situation happens and a backup quarterback has to, start for a couple games, then it becomes a different story. But when you're picking a backup quarterback to back a guy up that is so important to your team, your offense, you just want the trust factor there.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think that he would kind of have the upper hand at being named let's just say, we'll just air quote, the number 2 going in. And that's how I would look at it, at least. So, I don't know. You and I have seen one practice. You never know what you're going to get when the bomb squad's out there playing. So, you never know if throws airmailed or he misses you never know whose fault it is. So it's kind of hard to judge that unless you're sitting there with the clicker.
Yeah, unless
in
you're
that
going
quarterback
back.
room.
Right. If a guy comes free through the A gap, the quarterback's trying to get the ball off, it sails on him. If you're just out there and you're watching and you don't see that, it's he missed his target. He's trying to hit the digger out and he throws it 27 yards on an 18-yard route because he's on his back foot trying to escape somebody coming straight through the A gap. So it's going to be a great competition. Glad to see Colin Hurley back on the field as well. I think Van Buren's one of the big gets in the transfer portal just because he has started 8 games in the SEC, because the last thing you want on a team this talented is if you didn't have somebody ready to go. So I'm going to give him the edge there as well. The safety position, Tate, I'll bring you in on this one. I know it's a position you've watched as close as any. A.J. Halsey comes in from Houston. Tamarcus Cooley comes in from NC State. Obviously, Jordan Gilbert back for another season. Deshaun Spears, somebody you've talked a lot about even before he got to campus when he signed with LSU. Where are you at right now with the safeties?
I think it's TaMarcus Cooley and A.J. Halsey. I mean, those guys, they look the part. A.J. Halsey looks like a middle linebacker out there. Like, I think he's listed at 6'1", 220 at a safety. Like, he's a big body guy. He lit up Xavier Thomas last Saturday right across the middle, jarred the ball loose. Cooley looks a lot bigger than I thought he would look. But, look, there's depth there. Javian Toviano looks pretty good. Jordan Gilbert looks better now than he did a year ago. You mentioned Deshaun Spears. Like, there's 5 or 6 guys that are battling for that spot. That is a legit battle. You go out there during like 7-on-7, 11-on-11. Safety's basically rotating every single snap.
It is a position that does rotate more than most. I mean, you'll have a bunch of guys kind of roll in. I do think you want to go from like 5 to 3. You want to be rotating 5 guys in there. Now, the thing about TaMarcus Cooley, he is versatile. Like, if you go back and you watch the NC State tape, he'll line up everywhere. Like, he was like, he can be down towards the box. He can be as a nickel. He can be as a safety. So he gives you versatility in the fact that you can kind of place him different places. Toviano's played different positions in his career as well. So it's going to be like a mixture of a lot of different pieces, but it can be the same guys just put in different places as well. Joel Rogers is also somebody, though, that's in this position battle. We saw him, in the bowl game?
Yeah.
I guess. People are pretty excited about his versatility when he signed. Like, I see Hunt included him in this article. Any chance for him to get into the rotation?
I mean, yeah, they're all rotating. I just think he's more towards the bottom. The other guys are just getting a little bit more reps right now.
Yeah, it does remind you kind of whenever the first year of this new staff and they went out there and they got, Greg Brooks and they got Bernard Converse, and they just went and got some like veteran guys that weren't as celebrated like number one portal guy, but they were starters from Oklahoma State, from Arkansas, and you pieced them together with young football players, and that worked really well for LSU. Now, the years since then has not worked, but this kind of has that feel to it, Tay, of going to go get veteran guys that have been through the fire in these big major conferences and started a lot of games.
No, it does, and especially at safety. Like, I know you brought in Delane and Jakeem Jackson. Honestly, I would say Jackson's 5th right now in the corner rotation. Yeah. Like, I think it's Stamps and Delane have kind of been your ones more times than not, and then DJ Pickett, PJ Woodland. One of those guys is a freshman. 2 of those guys have been here multiple years now. That safety spot, you brought in 2, because, I mean, think about it. We brought in Cooley in the spring. Staff still wasn't satisfied. They brought in A.J. Halsey in the fall. Like, that tells me a lot about they need both of these guys to step up and start.
Taylor, who is rotating at practice the most at nickel? Like, who seems to be that nickel, that go-to guys as soon as they throw it in there?
I mean, so Perkins is at star, which, I mean, that's their quote-unquote nickel in their base defense.
It's going to be which corner drops in.
Delane's been doing it a lot. So what they've been doing is dropping Delane down and then, either a Pickett or a Woodland or a Jakeem Jackson on the other side of Stamps.
We'll look at the guard position battle before we get out of here. Again, this is on LouisianaSports.net. Nice write-up by our guy, Hunt Palmer. Paul Mubinga doesn't look like he's going to be a starter right now. It looks like it's going to be DJ Chester and Josh Thompson starting at guard. DJ Chester moves from center to guard. Thompson is somebody that's going to play it all over the place in his Northwestern career. A little surprised that Paul Mubinga hasn't went with the ones a little bit more. Started the final 4 games of last year on an offensive line that had 4 guys drafted. But, that can be a couple different things. It can be because, DJ Chester is a really good offensive lineman. Some of the center stuff, the pre-snap stuff he struggled with, and they want to find a position for him, and you brought Thompson in through the portal to be a starter. But I thought at this point Mubinga would have the leg up, and it doesn't look that way. It looks like he is on the outside looking in right now.
Yeah, and I know he started 4 games, and there's going to be people saying, oh, well, he was awful in those 4 games. Maybe initially he had some struggles. You go back and look, his PFF grade improved every single game he started. He was low 50s game 1 to mid 70s game 4. He improved steadily over 4 games, but it kind of seems like it's Chester and Thompson. Honestly, Cohen Eccles is kind of making a move at guard as well. I know they also like him at center, but yeah, right now, I mean, I think it's Chester and Thompson. As much of a rotation there is, it kind of seems like the starting five's kind of set.
Yeah, it'll be the group that I probably pay attention to the most tomorrow when I go out to practice is the interior offensive line and see how they developed over the last couple of days in training camp, because I think they need to go up a couple of notches.